Shavua Tov, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land and hosted by me, Rolene Marks. As always, we take a look at those headlines making the news in Israel. We do it every Monday to Thursday. And I love that I'm getting so many messages from you guys from all around the world. Last week I said hello to Central Oregon and California and Mauritius. And today I say hello to Nigeria and Nairobi in Kenya. So all over the beautiful African continent, hello, and all around the world. If you are new to our Israel Brief family, welcome to it. Today is day 353 since the 7th of October. We still have 101 hostages in captivity inside of Gaza. Now, last night, addressing the Knesset, the Prime Minister said that he believes that over half of those hostages may still be alive. We need to get them out. We need to get them out as soon as possible. They must come home. But it has been a very, very intense weekend for Israelis, especially on our northern border. So let's get some updates. Israeli Defense Force and Hezbollah have been engaged in very, very heavy exchanges of fire throughout the last couple of days. Just today, the IDF struck 300 Hezbollah sites in southern Lebanon. Now, Daniel Hagari, he is the IDF chief spokesperson. He is Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, urged the civilians in Lebanon, in southern Lebanon, please, if they are anywhere near launching sites or sites where Hezbollah might be stockpiling weapons, please to move out for their own safety. This was reiterated during the course of the day with the IDF dropping pamphlets on southern Lebanon. But there have been very, very heavy exchanges of fire, Hezbollah firing an extraordinary amount of rockets into Israeli territory and also widening their strike area. At the moment, the north remains basically locked down. Classes are closed. Students are learning remotely. Civilians are staying very close to their shelters. The beaches are closed and public gatherings have been cancelled. Yesterday, Hezbollah fired about 85 rockets towards sites in Israel. They say towards military sites, but the impact zones were people's houses and communities that were far away from any military targets. And this point must be stressed. Hezbollah are not aiming specifically for IDF bases and military targets. They are wantonly targeting civilians. Yesterday, several people were injured and at least one person was killed when they panicked and drove their car into a wall. This was during the sirens yesterday morning. There were direct hits on homes as well as a cow shed, killing 15 cows. Now, the Lebanese Health Ministry said that as a result of today's strikes by the IDF towards southern Lebanon, about 50 people have been killed and 300 injured. Some of the strike areas over the weekend included the Christian city of Nazareth, a city holy to many, many Christians around the world. And this resulted not only in direct hits, but also fires across Nazareth. So this is Lebanon, or rather at least Hezbollah, increasing their strike zone. They haven't widened their target to increase the center and Tel Aviv as yet, but Israel remains on high alert. On Friday night, the IDF struck a group of Radwan Force commanders as they gathered in an apartment block in the Dahia district of Beirut. Killed in that airstrike was Ibrahim Akil. He is the head of Hezbollah's military command, and he was also one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. He is wanted with a $7 million bounty on his head by the US authorities for terror attacks that claimed the lives of 241 US Marines and servicemen, as well as on an embassy. the Americans commented saying justice had been served. That was a statement by White House National Security Advisor John Kirby. Now, Israel has stressed, and this was stressed by our President Herzog on Sky News, as well as Face the Nation and Prime Minister Netanyahu, that we did not want this war. We do not want war. We do not want war with Lebanon. This is not what we seek. However, Hezbollah has been targeting Israeli civilians in the north of Israel since the 8th of October. They say in support of Hamas inside the Gaza Strip, and no other country would tolerate this violation of their sovereign rights and the rights to their civilians to have safety by allowing this to continue unanswered. So the situation in the north remains tense, and some of the statistics that we have received is over 8,500 rockets and drones fired towards Israel by Hezbollah. Over 19 million dunams of natural reserve has been destroyed. Over 300 people have been injured and 45 have been killed as a result. Enough is enough. Hezbollah, for their reaction, have called Israel's strikes cowardly aggression. And earlier today, UNIFIL, that's the United Nations Interim Forces in Lebanon, recommended that family members and civilian personnel move north of the Litani River. Now, I just want to say, UNIFIL, you might want to expand that message to Hezbollah. You are in violation of your UN Resolution 1701 that states that not only should Hezbollah not be arming, they should be unarmed, but they should also remain north of the Litani River. Now turning to the Gaza Strip, justice was served over the weekend when the IDF eliminated the 2 terrorists responsible for the executions of 6 hostages, Ori Danino, Alex Lubanov, Almog Serusi, Carmel Gat, Hirsch Goldberg Polin, and Eden Yerushalmi. Their executors were eliminated in an airstrike by the IDF. Now, the big question everybody is asking today is Sinwar still alive? According to Kan, the national broadcaster, yesterday, and several Hebrew media outlets, it was believed that he was killed in a precise airstrike in the Gaza Strip. Now, the Shin Bet have countered that claim. They say that they have no proof that he is in fact dead and that he has done this before, that he has remained incommunicado for a while still being alive. Earlier today, in a press conference, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said that he could not confirm or deny whether or not Sinwar was still alive. Well, I can tell you one thing that's for sure is that the day that he is eliminated, it will be a national holiday here in Israel. I think we all will celebrate. On Friday, Israel filed its challenge brief to the ICC, that's the International Criminal Court. Yesterday, addressing members of Knesset, the Prime Minister said that he is expecting arrest warrants to be issued soon for himself and for Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Now, in 2 separate briefs that were filed by the Israeli legal team, the first is challenging the ICC's jurisdiction, whether or not they have jurisdiction over Israel. Israel is not a signatory to the Rome Statute, which is the foundation document which set up the ICC. And the second one was challenging what they call the ICC's wrongful breach of the criminal courts code and the statute and the principle of complementarity. Sorry, I had to look at my notes for a second there because it's legal and I don't like to mess up any legal explanations. Now, what it says in this brief is that the ICC, or the chief prosecutor, has refused Israel's right to investigate itself any claims that are made by the court. That's the clause of complementarity. Israel has an independent and respected judicial system or legal system, and this is covered by the laws of complementarity. Now, they say that no other democratic nation has been treated with such prejudice by the prosecutor of the ICC, and that it is not just the opinion of Israel, but the opinion of other democracies and experts that the ICC is in breach of its court mandate. And finally, not so good luck of the Irish President Michael Higgins made claims to the New York Times that the Israeli embassy had broadcast or had made public a letter that he had written to his Iranian counterpart. The Israeli embassy called these baseless accusations and also extremely harmful and inflammatory. Now, what is interesting is that the culprit for leaking this letter happens to be the Iranian embassy. Iran's embassy to Ireland posted a copy of the letter to its private or to its Embassy X account and quickly deleted it soon after. But it goes to show just how endemic anti-Semitism is in the Irish government, that rather blame the Jew, or in this case the Jewish state, than accept responsibility that your ally, the Iranian embassy, were the ones to breach confidentiality. And those are your top stories. Let's take it to the audience question of the day, and it comes from Jean from Toronto. Jean asks, how will Israel mark the anniversary of the 7th of October? Well, Jean, we are very, very close to that ominous first year. I think we are all starting to feel the anxiety and the emotional state as we approach a very, very painful anniversary in our history. There will be a national commemoration ceremony. This will be run by the government and will be broadcast from the town of Ofakim that was badly affected on the 7th of October. Many of the kibbutzim, the hostage families, have opted out of the national commemoration ceremony. They say they won't be used for anyone's political agenda, and I for one can fully understand. I don't think any of us are in a position to judge or to decide how the kibbutzim, how the hostage families should be marking the worst day, quite frankly, of their lives. I think many of us will mark it privately. I think a lot of companies will have events to use the day to either do something that is of service to community or that memorializes those we have lost. And not just those that we have lost on the day, but also those who have fallen in defense of the country as well. I think it's going to be an extremely difficult day for us in Israel. And of course, we here at the Israel Brief will broadcast as usual. It might be a different broadcast, but we will be broadcasting. And I know some of you might be wondering, why is Raylene not in Kibbutz Be'eri today? Due to unforeseen circumstances, I wasn't able to go down there today, but I do promise you that wherever I can, I will take you on location. So that's it for today's edition of the Israel Brief. Please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our YouTube channel right here at the Israel Brief. Hit that red subscribe button. We are on Facebook at Lottel's site, on X at Lay of the Land 5, on LinkedIn, on my personal LinkedIn profile, Raylene Marks, on Instagram on my personal profile, Raylene_Marks. And that's it for today, guys. It has been a very, very difficult weekend for us in Israel. We are holding our northern citizens in our hearts and in our prayers. Stay safe, guys. We are all thinking of you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.